how I see the different mindset between midlife crisis and a transition that is more smooth and takes more time, but is more healthy than a crisis full on, is that yes, you cannot avoid the challenges and you cannot avoid changing and evolving and confronting fears and obstacles. But the open mindset of accepting the change and the evolution is, I think, revolves around a few points. One is opening your ability to hear your own intuition and vision. And a lot of times, this place is silenced in us because of our upbringing and just because having parents. And we do it automatically as parents to our children, and the parents are doing it automatically to us, maybe until very late age, is that our parents have a certain point of view of life and certain experience. So a lot of what they tell us, do or not do, should or shouldn't, this is okay, this is not okay, this is acceptable, this is not, all this behavior, all these little things, is only through the lens of their own experience, which means that we take on a lot of their own point of views and experience without even realizing in so many different little things. And then when we want to break out of this persona, we have to start cutting down and slicing down all these little things that are not helping us anymore. So it's like owning your intuition, maybe for the first time, or start training it in a way that will help you realize, what is my gut feeling telling me? What is my intuition telling me? Is this really wrong for me? Is this really right for me? And not hearing the voices of our parents telling us yes, no. Is actually starting to realize that we do have an inner voice inside, and we should start training ourselves to listen to it and to trust it, that it will guide us to what we want to achieve. And then from this, I would say that the second thing we need is to open our vision. And it's on purpose that I point at my stomach and the third eye, the chakra, because for me it's a very spiritual effort to open the intuition and to open the vision, and it helps both ways to develop each other. Because if society, culture, and parents always told us that there's usually one or two ways to live our life and expectations of what it means to be successful, or what it means to have a family, or what it means to be a man, what it means to be a woman, what it means to be a citizen of a certain country, we have all these frameworks. So again, our vision of what our life can be is very limited and very closed by all these definitions. And maybe when we were children, our imagination was nice, like, oh, you can think about all these nice fantasies and crazy things. But then slowly, when we became older and older and grown up, it's like, yeah, it's nice, but let's focus on studying. It's nice, but let's focus on your career. It's nice, but let's focus on achieving this and that. It's nice, but let's be realistic. So our vision started to get more narrow and narrow and narrow and more realistic, and then we cannot see sometimes ahead of ourselves or beyond our restrictions of what is actually still possible for us, because we're not looking there. So imagine that you could join the quality of your vision with the quality of your intuition. It means that you can find your way and guide yourself from inside out much easier, because then you realize that if you want to achieve your own purpose and find your own way and finish the transition, you cannot be guided by all these different other voices and visions of who you are. You can use your own vision and your own intuition to find it, which means that you're more susceptible to little signs and coincidences that happen along the way, for opportunities that people are like, hey, why don't you do this and that? And some suggestions that you might be shutting off is like, nah, that's not for me. That's not who I am. It's not my way. And then suddenly you're open enough and intuitively attuned enough to say, yes, yeah, why not? Let's try this. or somebody is giving you an offer to visit a certain country or to do a certain change in your career or to meet a certain person. And usually you would be very much automatic in your routine, and then suddenly, yeah, it feels right. I don't know. My ego says no, but intuition says yes, so I will try. And you start to trust the process of opening it up and feeling what is actually nourishing the change, even if it's not the end goal. Maybe it's just one little step in the journey. But you start to open it and realize that, yeah, I can change my patterns, and by changing my patterns, eventually in a few years I will also be able to change myself, because I will accumulate new experiences and new guidance and new teachers and new people that will help me transition from who I am today to who I am in the future. And the last piece, I think, is healing. Is eventually, when you want to move on, you have to let go of a lot of blocks and baggage that you inherited from your lineage, from the grandparents, from the parents, from teachers, from friends, from siblings maybe. And all these blocks and traumas, you cannot avoid dealing with them, in my opinion, because if you want to go someplace new, you can't keep on carrying these old things with you, or else it will just make your journey much, much slower. And then you can't really shed your old skin and open a new possibility. And if you're still holding on to these old traumas and blocks. So, what I like to focus on in my healing sessions and the healing advice that I give to people is mainly through the shamanic journey, because the shamanic journey, it works on your vision, it works on opening the vision. By seeing into the vision, you start feeling with your intuition what is symbolic, what is literal, what is a task that you have to do, what is just inspiring, what is real that comes from spirit guidance, and what is just your ego. You start to train yourself with doing this. And also with the modalities of the shamanic work, you work on cutting the cords with negative people, you work on retrieving your soul pieces and energy, you work on aligning yourself with the future that you want. So all these different modalities work on all these energy centers, chakras, and all these blocks in order to enable you to open to the new way and then walk the new way.